great to have you back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10, live on Channels Television. A reminder of our major stories. Federal government confirms that 110 and not 105 schoolgirls, as earlier announced, are missing from Dapchi, Yobe State. Community leaders in Adamawa State express worry over the spate of attacks by Boko Haram insurgents on their communities, ready to team up with the military to end the violence. Federal government targets 7.9 million Nigerians in its social investment program. And the governing Communist Party of China is making efforts to extend the rule of President Xi Jinping beyond 2023. For more on our top stories and others, just check out our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. And there's more. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature with which you can share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And talking about pictures, here are some of them you sent into our Eyewitness portal today. Let's begin with this one from Zuba A border community between Niger State and Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, showing people whom our Eyewitness reporter says are removing the remains of victims of a gas explosion. He reports that 2 people were feared dead during the explosion at a gas station. From Mina, the Niger State capital, comes these set of pictures showing people whom our Eyewitness reporter identifies as students of a secondary school during an excursion to a nail-producing company. According to him, the practice of taking students out reinforces whatever they learned in the classroom and wants this encouraged. And back here in Lagos, we have another set of images from Agboju in Amodofi local government area showing this piece of land, which our Eyewitness reporter says is used as a collection site for condemned materials, which has been taken for recycling. Our Eyewitness reporter is worried about the location of this business, which he says is bringing untold hardship on other residents because of the noise pollution and the stench coming from this site. He wants the Lagos State Ministry of Environment to check this and quickly too. Our final image is still from Lagos, but this time at the Adeniji Street of Onigbongbo local government area, showing site of a demolition exercise. Our Eyewitness reporter describes the destruction as illegal and wants the state government to look into it and put a stop to it. Thank you so much for sending in those pictures, and we do encourage you to keep them coming. Now, still more security matters. Some leaders in Madagali, Adamawa State, are worried by the rate of attacks on their communities. According to them, there has been at least 35 attacks on 24 villages in the last 10 months, a development they find disturbing. They are finding ways to end the onslaught, one of which is working with the military.
In the last 10 months, Madagali local government area in Adamawa State in Nigeria's northeast region has witnessed a total of 35 attacks in 24 villages by Boko Haram terrorists, resulting in the loss of lives and destruction of over 100 households. The area's proximity to the Sambisa forest leaves residents worried about the possibility of further attacks. Attention is now turning to other ways of complementing the efforts of security operatives. The elders of affected communities are meeting with the sole aim of examining areas in which the people of Madagali can come together and defend their community, particularly members of the Hunters Association and Vigilante Group of Nigeria.
As of late, most of the nights in Madagali are characterized by gunfire from attacks, bombings, burning, and killing of innocent souls. This fresh phase of attack has further demoralized and dehumanized our people because of the trauma that they are passing through.
Other stakeholders addressed the need for more attention in terms of military presence and reconstruction of destroyed infrastructure by the insurgents.
We have decided to reach out to those security chiefs that are concerned. Our area needs special attention. Madagascar local government needs special attention, special military attention, special welfare attention, because there must be a reconstruction.
The district head of Gulak makes a similar plea to the federal government for more troops to the area while calling for state government support to vigilante groups.
Our vigilante hunters are doing some efforts. As I've said that, we still have some challenges because our army are not moving towards our areas into the Sambisa forest. And still we have challenges, as I've said. If our men of armed forces cannot move into Sambisa forest towards our area, we still believe we have problems.
The elders of Madagali are using the meeting to draw attention to the plight of the people of Madagali who are experiencing firsthand the ripple effect of Boko Haram attacks on their lives, such as hunger, homelessness, and poverty.
The federal government has announced a total of 7.9 million direct beneficiaries of the social investment program, as it has asked Nigerians to join the program. While presenting a scorecard, the President on Social Investment, Mrs. Miriam Weiss, noted that the federal government has captured over 400,000 vulnerable families in a national social register, of which over 297,000 have been paid.
The National Social Register is being developed in 23 states so far that have met our requirements, and we have about almost 500,000. I've given the amount 400 that have been uploaded onto the social register. Now that social register has information. That is where we mine our cash transferred beneficiaries from. So we're just trying to ensure that we target and pay only those that are really poor. Only the poorest of the poor will get paid. We have, according to the statistics, almost 80 million or even around 80 million people that are poor. And so we had to devise a strategy to ensure that we get the poorest and also insulate the process of getting to that poorest from any outside influence, whatever the influence may be. So what we do first is sign an MOU with the state. We have roles and responsibilities for each side. We know it's not enforceable, but we want both sides to know what they need to do. We now select 30% because we had cash constraints. We couldn't cover 80 million people that were poor. We now said, okay, we'll start with 30% of each state, which comes to 30% of each senatorial district, the poorest 30%.
The Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, is moving around states in Nigeria to curb sharp practices amongst some oil marketers, while some still sell above the official 145 naira per litre pump price. Others resort to hoarding and under-dispensing. In this next report, we take a look at the activities of the DPR in some parts of the country.
Out in the manifest of today
it is an enlarged gathering by petroleum marketers and dealers at the DPR office in Cross River State, South Nigeria, to deliberate and propose solutions to the lingering fuel scarcity situation in the state and, by extension, Nigeria as a whole. At the meeting, the DPR warned the petroleum marketers against diversion of petroleum products, price hike above the approved regulated price of 145 naira per litre, and adjustment of meters, as those found wanting will be sanctioned appropriately.
Any dealer of major that is will be adequately penalized. This is very serious.
IPMAN chairman and the state used the medium to also appeal to the federal government to match words with action by making products available for marketers to be able to dispense adequately. In Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, 73 fuel stations are sealed off for various infractions, ranging from hoarding, under dispensing of products and selling above the official pump price.
Availability of personal products in Ogun State has improved from our daily surveillance. We sanctioned about 33 stations from January to date. The sanction included caution, sealing, and fines.
One petrol station has been sanctioned by the Department of Petroleum Resources in Delta State over irregularities. Leading the operation, Oyenefa Chuks, head of downstream operations, Warri Zonal Office, reveals that 5 other fuel stations were shut over sharp practices.
Couldn't bring out the sales book to make us see that yes, he received the product, he dumped it in the station, and he has sold it within Saturday till now. So because he didn't show us that evidence, we have to seal that station, and he will come to our office to rectify the issue.
It's also a similar story in Adamawa State, as 3 fuel stations have been sealed by the DPR for allegedly diverting 16 trucks of PMS expected to be delivered to Adamawa and Taraba states.
Currently lifting about 5 trucks from Calabar, claiming that they're bringing it to NNPC depot in Yola. Unfortunately, that name, we don't have any station like that, either in Adamawa or Taraba State. So there is none among the stations we have license. So we don't know where that product has gone to.
As Nigerians await a final solution to the lingering fuel scarcity, the petroleum marketers and the federal government might have to meet halfway in finding a sustainable solution to the unabating long queues seen at the fuel stations.
From energy to health matters now, the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is taking its war of substandard drugs to another level by destroying products worth over 500 million naira in Katsina State. At the venue of the exercise, the management of NAFDAC asked for the support of all security operatives and members of the society to rid the country of all dangerous items.
Most of these items set ablaze have either expired or were not registered by NAFDAC, just as some of the drugs are on the list of items banned by the federal government. NAFDAC's zonal coordinator of the Northwest Zone, pharmacist Ibrahim Sabo Adamu, who represented the Director General of NAFDAC, warned smugglers and those dealing with counterfeit, fake or expired products to desist from such acts.
We have used this opportunity to warn smugglers and those dealing in counterfeit, fake, substandard and unwholesome products that they should desist henceforth or before the rest of the law catches up with them. So we will continue to be vigilant. We will continue to work in collaboration with sister agencies to ensure that we protect the life of our citizenry.
The area controller of the Nigerian Customs Service, Kaduna Katsina Command, Controller Kayode Olusemere, gives a word of advice to smugglers.
The instant losses, drugs, medicaments cannot come in through the border. Even rice item or rice and other items, there's a law that prohibits from coming in through borders areas. And we are advising them they should adhere strictly to this to be sure that whatever they want to do is genuine. Whoever is involved in any of these nefarious activities, we are here. We are determined to deter them.
Also speaking at the occasion, the Emir of Katsina, represented by the Sarkin Fada Abdul Qadir Damale, pledges the State Emirate Council's readiness to support the anti-smuggling crusade.
I want to assure you, like the controller of customs have said, the Emirate Council is ever ready, whenever requested or contacted, to do everything possible to support your work.
Although these fake products are said to be responsible for the rising cases of health challenges associated with liver, kidney, and heart failure, amongst others, it is hoped that smugglers will stop smuggling and turn a new leaf by investing their resources in genuine products.
When the news at 10 returns, it's double honors for the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, as he gets 2 awards in Lagos. Join us again.